Right, well, I've bitten the bullet and I've started gluing things on. I've glued the two sides of the fuselage together. I've glued a panel here on, and then the wing and this rear section have just clipped on. They're not glued, and I would tip it upside down, but I'm gluing the two little panels there, and you go, aha, that's why they're staying on. They were staying on before and I should have shown you. But they're so good, I might as well just put those on. They won't stay of their own accord. Massive gaps. I think I'll fill them from underneath. I've gone over this section again, and I definitely followed the numbers. The numbers are huge, they're easy to see, and you know, I don't know what's gone wrong. But I was squeezing and squeezing, and if you do squeeze the whole thing, then they do come together. But I'm blowed if I've got clamps good enough for that. And any kind of sticky tape ain't going to do it either. So we'll leave them like that for the minute and see how things progress. That's how things are progressing. The way it's largely clipped together is fascinating. So there's other gaps really make a bit of a stand out, don't they? There we go. Well, I've got all the panels done on the underside, and I have to say it's a model that is basically panels and some wheels. It really does feel like a 1/72nd scale model that's been upgraded or something. Anyway, got the panels done without using any of the interior, so I've saved that. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with that, but you know, hey, good old me. A little bit of sanding down, a bit of filling to do. I think it deserves it. And then on the other, I haven't glued the flaps on, obviously. Working on that. A little bit of the front there. It's coming along. In most respects, it's a very simple model. Like I say, feels like a 1/72nd model. There are so many missed opportunities for interesting parts, but I'll let that go because I'm taking my different approach to this model so far that it's almost abuse. I'll admit that, folks. I'll admit that. But anyway, there it is. Looking lovely, I must say. People just come along and steal your work surface, don't they? Look at this. What am I to do? I don't know. Madness. This is a regular friend, this one. She's a little beauty. She's got a little tag on her ankle, haven't you? I'll feed you in a minute. Flaps are on. It's looking more and more like a spaceship. Little mini meltdown. Can't wait to get his hands on this one. He thinks it is a spaceship. It's a space rocket. And I think it's robust enough for him to muck about with. I'll probably remove, I haven't got it in yet, the needle point. I'll remove that so he can play with it, but it is a very, very sturdy model. It's got a gorgeous weight to it. Here's an interesting thing. I've never seen the likes of it before. This is people trusting me more than they really should. To fix the very large tailplane on, there's only one feature. I don't even know. Obviously it's a pin and it goes in a hole, but there's only one. So I could have it at any angle. I mean, that's not how it worked, is it? Can't be. The thing would break off. They're trusting me to get it right. Look, you see, not central. Come on, what are you thinking? Yeah, that really is trust too far. Well, we'll have a go. See if we can rise to the challenge of getting something straight. Never been done before, but it's always the first time. Ooh, I might I've got it right. I did measure it, you know, and there's a little pencil mark under there. Oh, I'm taking it seriously all of a sudden. Talking of marks, look at that. There's a story behind that that doesn't even pertain to this model. Tragically, I was in here working on HMS not is it HMS the Bounty for Mini Meltdown, and the cat got into a fight in her own garden. There's this horrible black and white cat, a right bruiser. He's a real bully. I've seen him bully other cats, and he had a go at my cat. When I say my cat, the cat with whom I, you know, who tolerates me. And now, despite being a right princess, she's a real fighter. But he got the better of her, and she came flying in here, and I had to defend her. So I threw the Bounty down to its detriment. I got muck on my fingers because it isn't going together very well. The glue had liberated a little brown paint, and I had to push this to one side to get out because I had to balance it precariously. And the tiniest shove, and I've got a mark. Still, I'm planning on respraying the whole thing anyway. There's a little bit come through there. There's also this issue. While we're on it, look, just sits out from there, and this is even worse. Now, I made it so I can move it, and I found that if I put that within the housing of the fuselage, it forces the seam open. And the same happens there. So it's not going to sit in, which I hope doesn't influence the glassware, and I also hope the glassware might just cover it up a little. Who knows? Or I've got to tidy up the interior and put the seats and the men in. Well spotted, thank you for reminding me. Anyway, tail straight. Meanwhile, over on this side, doing the tail, we have two holes, a round one and a rectangular one, and we have two pieces, round and rectangular, except they are utterly useless. They don't even remotely fit. Wow, that's going to take some, I don't know what, propping up. And it doesn't fit. It's like an afterthought. It doesn't fit there at all. Now perhaps it didn't, but it looks like it's meant to. That's chronic. Ooh. I knew I was on the wrong side. I was just... the light was better to show you what was going on. But anyway, the only way to get this to fit snugly against the fuselage is to dip it, to have it leaning downwards slightly off the horizontal plane and tilting forwards down that way. Hello! I'm doing a small piece to camera about a failed tail plane. So anyway, that's how I've done it, and that's how it's going to have to stay, and it means I'm going to have to do the other one the same. But that's the only way I can get it to fit snugly. It's the only really horrible bit, I think. Hello, what are you up to?
My meeting's finished, I just come out to say hello. I realised I just skipped in here without the dongle, but because my pooter was already connected, it's happy.
There you go!
Yeah, oh, you knocked the light off the ceiling.
Somebody has, don't think it was me.
Wasn't me.
You're the tall one in the family.
Not that tall, mate.
Yeah, you might be. I don't know anything about this aircraft. I've never encountered it before. It's completely skimmed by me, and I'm not going to go off and do tons of research. But it strikes me that that rectangular slot, and the fact that I can woggle the tailplane up and down, makes me think it's swing wing. So one day I might actually look into that. But anyway, 2 on now. We're making some kind of progress again. Gradually. Right, shite. There goes my phone. I was going to say, I've done them in largely, or painted largely. I will, as usual, put them in and tidy them up if I remember. The trouble is I can't find the seats because I've got all very untidy at the moment, which is why I knocked my phone on the floor. I wonder if it works. That's hard concrete.